Jodi, people are debating who won this debate. There wasn't a lot of policy discussion tonight. What do you think characterized each man's performance?
Yeah, it really was not a policy-driven debate at all. Donald Trump came out sort of swinging and clearly was going to be attacking Joe Biden on everything from the border to inflation, attacked his family, attacked his son. And Joe Biden was really on the ropes almost the entire debate. He stumbled a lot. He froze at one point before the camera. He had some faltering statements throughout. On occasion, he kind of hit back. His voice was faltering. Some in the campaign say he has a cold, and that's why he was hard to hear at times. But certainly this is not going to help Joe Biden in terms of the concerns expressed by many, and certainly a talking point for Republicans about his age at 81 years old, the oldest president, and his fitness to serve. So there's going to be a lot of talk about that. That's already what we're seeing in social media. And on Trump's part, he really came out and sometimes was coherent about policy, but other times was rambling. When asked about the opioid crisis, he started talking about Evan Gershkovich, a reporter held by the Russians, in jail. A lot of times he seemed to be searching for what he was saying, except that he was the one who really was attacking strongly, and Joe Biden was very much on the defensive in this debate.
Yeah, there seemed to be a stark contrast in, who really brought their A game tonight. I mean, how much do you think, Biden's performance could hurt him, especially given those concerns, as you mentioned, about his age and fitness?
Yeah, it could hurt him a great deal. He really needed to come out tonight and show he was strong, that these concerns, some have said that the Republicans were taking various images and putting them together to make him look weak. But then he came out and for an hour and a half tonight just did look weak. And at times, he seemed to not know what he was saying or putting the sentences together. Other times, he did seem like his old self. And at one point, he told Donald Trump that he's a liar and that you just continue to lie, and he tried to make some policy statements, but it was overshadowed by performance, and that's going to be the real concern here. Interestingly, our correspondent in Atlanta was looking for some people, Democrats, to interview afterward in the spin room, and there were very few. Our Atlanta bureau chief said that there really weren't many Democrats there, and you're wondering what their message is going to be, how they're going to try to put their spin on this tomorrow.
And can you mention a little bit more just the key takeaways in terms of what was the topics that were discussed? It's interesting enough. I didn't think we heard too much when it came to trade and the like with China in particular here.
Right. We heard about China only really Donald Trump criticized the current president's policies on China and said he was weak on China. But we didn't hear a lot of prescriptions. We really didn't hear a lot of policy prescriptions much at all. Both men, criticizing the other, very harshly. But there didn't really seem to be, for instance, on trade. Where do you go on trade? What should be the policy on Asia trade? That kind of thing really didn't get much discussion. There was a little bit of talk about, Joe Biden was trying to defend his record on the economy, which has been something he has struggled with in this campaign, given that inflation remains high. But there really wasn't a lot, if you were looking for both men to kind of come up with their statements on their strategy and what would be their policy priorities, you did not hear that in this debate tonight.